Hey guys, it's good to see you. It's Neko here, and welcome to episode 01 to series How to Edit Like a Pro. So, in this episode, I'm gonna show you that After Effects is not that intimidating as it looks. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. If you want to set up your After Effects, you can watch my tutorial on it. So I have divided this episode in two parts. First I'm going to make you guys familiar with After Effects and then I'm going to teach you basics of it. Part 1 Interface. I have divided After Effects interface in 5 sections. Section 1 Toolbar. I'm going to explain only those tools which we are going to use. First let's import some files so that we can use tools. Hand tool. You can use this tool to adjust the preview box. Press H on your keyboard to equip it. You can adjust your preview box by dragging it. We are mostly going to use this tool while masking. Some of you may be familiar with term masking and some of you are not. I'm going to explain masking in depth in this tutorial later on. So stay tuned for that. Pen tool. This tool is used for masking. Press G on your keyboard to equip it and then zoom in by using wheel on your mouse and then click like this to create a mask. So now let's delete this mask. Press M on your keyboard to open mask properties here. Make sure that you have selected your clip, then click here and delete it. Now text tool. We are gonna use this tool to write text in our edits. So it's quite simple to use, just like that, and type it. I have already changed my settings so that I can show you that how it's works. So now let's delete this. Select it and press delete on your keyboard. Now section 2 project panel. This is a panel which will contain our clips, audio and compositions. Composition is a workspace for our timeline here, and this icon here creates folder. So let's create one and name it main, and create another one and name it raws. This folder will contain our raw files like audio and clips, and main will contain our compositions. So let's rename this composition and name it clips. Now there are two ways to create a composition. First one is click this composition icon, then change these settings according to your project. You can change resolution here, frame rate here and duration here, and these are advanced settings that we don't want to mess with for now, and change name here. Now I'm going to tell you about the second method that we are going to use. Select your clip or audio and then drag it here. This will create a new composition with the settings of the audio clip file that you are using. Like this audio have frame rate of 23.976. So we are gonna edit with this composition settings: width 1920, height 1080, frame rate 23.976, and this is the duration of my audio. So let's name it main. Hit OK and then adjust these. So 3 timeline. So this is where we will spend most of our time. Here you can change settings of your clip like scale, position, opacity, and add some properties like blending modes. Here there are many, let's say, presets. Now section 4 effect and preset panel. From this panel you can add effects and preset on your clip just by dragging it, just like this. And preset are custom settings of effects we can build our own, and there are some provided by After Effects too here, like this background and then circuit. Last section 5, preview box. This is the area where we will watch our edit while working on it, like this. You can decrease the quality of preview just by clicking here and setting it to full, half, third or quarter. I usually work on half, you can, but now I'm recording, so I'm working on third. Part 2, basics of After Effects. So now let's delete all this. So first I'm going to teach you guys how to import files. Just double click here inside project panel. I have already selected my folder from where I have to import files. You can download these files from description. Now select these and click import. Now I'm gonna create a composition from my audio file like the second method that I taught. Now rename it and let's call it main, and I'm going to create another composition from the clip file and name it clips. Now create two folders. Name the first one main and the second one raws. Now select the imported files and put them in raw folder and put the main and clip composition in main folder. I'm going to teach you guys how to cut clips and all the things that we're going to do. So this episode here is episode 1 of Horimiya. You can watch it, it's a good anime. So now press this icon here to zoom in. You can press this icon here to zoom out in our timeline. So let's zoom in. So hold shift and press page down key on your keyboard to move 10 frames forward. You can move 1 frame forward by tapping page down key 1 time, and you can do the opposite of this by holding shift and then pressing page up key to move 10 frames backward, and same for 1 frame. Just tap page up key 1 time. So now let's select where we want our clip to be. So let's say I want my clip to be here, till here. So now we're gonna split our clip in 2 parts. So make sure it's selected by clicking on it, and then hold Ctrl Shift and then press D. Now select this part and make sure that you have disabled the audio of both the part that we have splitted. Yeah. And now select this file and then press Ctrl Shift and then tap C. Now this file gonna become a pre-composition inside our composition. So a pre-composition is a composition inside a composition. So let's call it A. The location of this composition will be determined by the location of the composition in which it is created. So here we have created this composition A inside our composition called clips. So the location of A will be inside the main folder. Then hit OK. Now I'm gonna cut 2 more clips. Watch me and follow me. Now that we have created 3 pre-composition inside our composition, so let's import them in our main composition. So let's switch to main composition by clicking on it. Now select these clips and then drag them here. Now we are gonna add markers in our timeline. So we are gonna add markers according to our audio to make it sync. so that we can sync easily with our clips and audio. So select your audio file and then double tap L to open waveform. I have a beat here, so I want to add a marker here. There are two ways to add marker. First, deselect everything and then tap star button in your numpad, or if you want to add a number marker, you can just drag this icon here to add a number marker, but we don't want to do this now, so I'm gonna just put it back. So as you can see, I have a number marker here, but I want to delete, so hold Control and then just click on it to remove it. If you want to add a marker on any specific pre-composition or file, you can just select it and then press star key to add it. Let's remove this marker here, hold Control and then just click on it. Now I'm going to change the color of this file here. Just click here and then select the color that you want. I'm gonna go with red and then click on this lock icon here, so that we don't have to worry about messing this one up. So I'm gonna arrange my clips according to beat. I want my clips to start from here. Just select your clip and then drag it back till where you want it to be. I'm gonna arrange my clips like this. Make sure that you have your clips like this, not like this. We are going to use clips like this when we add fade or dissolve transitions in After Effects, but not now. We want our clips to be like this. As you can see, we have subtitles here. I usually don't use clips with subtitles, but this episode was uploaded recently and they didn't have RAWs for this one, so I'm gonna hide subtitles here. So click in this empty space and then hold Control and then tap Y to create a new solid, then hit OK. Now we're gonna add an effect called CC Jaws to create black bars. So click here and then effects and preset. You can search here CC Jaws. Sorry. Now for those who have already installed FX console in their PC, make sure that you have selected this black solid. Hold Control and then tap space. This will open this panel here. Search CC Jaws and then tap OK. Enter, sorry. Now change this so that we can view our scene. As you can see, we don't want our black bars to look like this. This has jaws. We want our black bars to be straight, so change height to 0. And now I'm thinking of adding a starting animation to it, so something like this. We were gonna add an animation which will look like this. So let's move to last frame till where we want our animation to be. So let's it be here. I want my animation's last frame to be here, so let's move it here. Let's change it accordingly. Yep. Now tap on this icon to create a keyframe. Now zoom out and move to the first frame from where you want your animation to start. I want my animation to start from here. Now change it to 0. Now if I press space to preview this here, afterward gonna run this whole timeline over and over, but we don't want that, so move few frames ahead from where your edit start, then press B, then move to a last frame till where you want to preview your edit, and then press N. So let's check our edit. If you're using a low-end PC like me, you can go to edit, then preferences, and then previews, and then make sure that you have disabled this mute audio when preview is not real time. This will allow us to view our edit in so as you can see, this animation, it's floppy and we want our animation to be smooth, and it's showing a subtitle here. So I'm gonna go to last frame and change its size to 70 or something like that. Yep, 74. Now press U to view this keyframes here, and then select these, and then press F9, and then click this graph icon to open graph. If you don't have graph like this, you can click here to and then select edit value graphs. Now select this first frame and then drag it here like this. Now let's press space to preview our edit. As you can see, adding black bars and adding animation to it make it look more professional than before. So let's enable blur in it. As you can see, we have two icons here for blur. First, this icon here will allow us to enable blur in our composition. So let's click on that, and now we are gonna check these icons to add blur. For now, we are only gonna add blur to our black bar, so let's click on that. Now let's preview it again. This is good for beginner, right? So now let's add few more clips. So let's add another animation here. So now let's add a text behind her. So double click on this pre-composition B to get inside here, and now yep, I want my text to be here. So I'm gonna select the text tool by pressing T, or you can select from here by clicking on it. Now drag it and then type. I'm gonna go with Neko. You can type anything that you want. Now select all that you have typed and then increase its size here. Wait. Yep. Now you can change font from here. Click here and then drag it up like this, and then you can press down key to move to change fonts. So let's yep, this looking good, so I'm gonna go with this and increase its size. Now let's adjust our text. Press P on, make sure that you have selected this text here. Now press P on your keyboard to open position properties. Now adjust it. Let's add a little rotation on it. So press R on your keyboard to open rotation properties and adjust it accordingly. Now let's place it, change its position again. So here, yep, this look good. Now I want my text to be behind her, so let's close these properties here. Make sure that you have selected this clip here, then hold Control and then tab D on your keyboard to duplicate this clip. Now click here on this eye icon to disable the view of this clip like this. So now I want to edit my clip, so I'm going to first add a CC to it so that I can differentiate between my clips. Now press Ctrl plus space to open this panel here. Now type black and white, and then I'm going to go with this. So now zoom in using wheel on your mouse, tap H to use hand tool. Now let's mask her hairs. Make sure that you have selected this file. Now let's move to first frame first, so we don't have to do anything here. Press page down key to move one frame forward. So yep, here. So let's click create a mask here. By selecting these, you can just disable the text to mask clearly. Just mask the part that you want to be above your text. So let's mask only this part here. Now click here. So as you can see, we have masked this part here. Click here to view your text. Now let's select this duplicated clip and press M to open mask property. Now click on this time watch icon. Now press page down key to move one frame forward. Create a keyframe here by clicking on it here. Now yep, now we want to change our mask here. So make sure that you have created a frame before it, so that it doesn't change its shape. Let's see, if we don't add a keyframe here, then what will happen. Now you can adjust your already created mask accordingly, so that you don't have to mask again and again. But in some cases you have to mask again and again, frame by frame, to get a fine look. But I'm not going with a full-fledged masking, so I'm gonna just quickly fly over this. As you can see here, there's an animation because we didn't add a frame here. So let's copy this frame and then paste it here. You can copy frame by holding Control and then tab C, and then paste by just doing the same, hold Control and then tab V. Now let's mask this whole part. You can see I want more points here so that I can mask this part. So let's make sure that you have selected this tool by tapping G, then click here to add a point. If you want to delete this point, you can hold Control and then click here, just like that. So now let's add some few more points and create a mask. As you can see, I have masked my text behind her ears. It's kind of difficult to understand without many clues, so I'm going to create an in-depth tutorial on masking in this series later on. So let's add few lightweight transitions in between here and here. So let's first add here. I'm gonna add a brightness transition, something like that, just CC, no position and scale. So select this clip and then hold Ctrl plus space, or you can just click here and then search. Now search brightness, BRIGHT. Now let's move 30 frames backward and then create a keyframe. I want my transition to end here, so I'm going to create a keyframe here and leave its value to 0. Now move to a first frame and then change its position to 150. Now let's add brightness and contrast in this clip too. Search brightness and then press yes. So I want my transition to start from this clip first frame, so I'm going to create a keyframe here and then let's move to last second frame and then change its value to 150. Now tap U on this clip and this one too. Now select all these 4 frames and then press F9 to easy ease. Now let's move into our graph editor. As you can see, it's looking like this. I want my transition to start with very low pace, so I'm going to create a graph like this, as you can see. Now let's check it out. As you can see, it's looking quite good. I'm not gonna add a transition here because let's keep it simple for now. So guys, that's it for this tutorial. If you were able to follow along until now, congratulations, you are now on your way to being a pro editor. But if you weren't, don't be disappointed. You just need to spend more time with After Effects. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe and share it. If you have any problems, comment below. I will do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching. Until next time.